morning, everybody. My name's Luke Dooley, and I'm a senior at Governor Livingston High School, and I'm planning on attending the University of Tampa in the fall. So I will be continuing to the next verse of Joshua 1:3. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Now, when I first got this verse, I didn't really know what it meant because I didn't really go into it. But really looking at it, there's a lot in here. Going into the Bible, you see these words are almost exact from Deuteronomy 11:24. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon and from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea. That's a lot of land. It's a lot of land. But this original promise is found in Genesis 15:18. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, "To your descendants, I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates." It was God's promise that the whole land should belong to the children of Israel. It was God's promise that it would be their land, a land where they could find rest, shelter, and prosperity. God's purpose and promise to them and to us today are the same. We have the authority through faith to accomplish what God has set out before us in his plan. However, it's not always that easy. Think about the Israelites and how long it took them to find the promised land. If they had been obedient from the first day, maybe they'd come across this land much sooner. The Israelites were human, and they got stressed and feared abandonment. These human traits caused the Israelites to lose faith in their God, as they were continuously being led across the desert for 40 years. It's a long time. I haven't even been alive that long, so I'm just saying. Many of these Israelites, they wanted to return back to what they knew, as they had safety, food, water, and shelter in Egypt. I believe this relates to now in our lives. As all of us are changing direction, and many of us are frightened, we rethink, and we lose faith. This is exactly what the Israelites had going on as they wandered, searching for the promised land God said he'd give to them. But going back to the verse, Joshua 1:3, I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. God had a promise for them, and God had a promise for them to go to this land that he gave them. So I take from this that he has a plan for me, and that wherever I step my foot forward in life, God has a promise and a future. Going a little deeper into this verse, God also says, I will give you every place where you set your foot. To me, this means even when we misstep, even if we take a step in the wrong direction, no matter where we go, God is always going to have a plan for us and will bless every step we take, even if it's the wrong one. He will do this in order to get us to his main purpose, and he will gently guide us in the right direction. Now I ask, what does this mean to you? Is there an area in your life that you're experiencing or anticipating change? Are you resisting because of fear or the unknown of trust instead of trusting that God has a purpose for you? Please know that God has promised the Israelites a land where they could have prosperity and freedom, that he also has a plan for each and every one of us to reach this land of prosperity and freedom. This verse pulls into the truth that no matter what direction we go, he will always deliver us upon the promised land. And now, Van will continue with Joshua 1:4.